Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. All right, we are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yahanna. Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth of the Bible. And the truth is that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the true Jews. And we do not know this because our oppressor, the slave master, the colonizer, is the devil that the Bible speaks of. We're not affiliated with any other Hebrew group or Christian organization on the face of the earth. If it's not I.S.U.P.K, it is not the truth. 100% unequivocally not the truth. Today, we're gonna get into something that a lot of people don't really don't know. They may know, but they don't know the ins and outs of it. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how I can make such a bold statement as to say the 13th Amendment ensures that we're in slavery. First of all, if we have any questions, any comments in the room, if we have any questions online, type your questions in online. We can answer your questions. If you got any questions in the room, we can answer your questions in the room as well. No questions?
Sorry, sir. Could I get an explanation, a breakdown on Isaiah 51 and 20? Because I'm thinking it's just the zeal inside of a young man.
The zeal inside of a young man. All right. Break it. Let's get it. Isaiah, what, 58 and 20? 58?
51.
51 and 20?
Come on, sir.
Hold on. Let me get there with you. Let's lock in. And you're saying, is it just the zeal of a man, of a young man?
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Absolutely, sir.
Isaiah 58 and what?
51.
51
and 20.
And 20. All right. Whenever you got it, go ahead and read it.
Isaiah chapter 51, verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy God.
All right. Let's skip me up 2 verses. Go up to 18.
Isaiah chapter 51, verse 18. There is none to guide her among all the sons whom she hath brought forth.
Go up one more.
Verse 17. Awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem, which has drunk at the hand of the Lord the cup of his fury.
Right. Keep going.
Thou hast drunken the dregs of the cup of trembling and wrung them out.
Okay. First of all, it's saying, it's telling Jerusalem to wake up. You know what I'm saying? Wake up out of what? If you keep reading, read that first script, verse number 17, Baba Shaw.
Verse 17. Awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem, which has drunk at the hand of the Lord the cup of his fury.
All right, so he's saying, wake up, because we're drunk at the cup of what we drunk from the Lord's, fury. What does that mean?
So, sir, I think it means that the man is somewhat understanding why the Most High is angry.
That's what you get from verse number 17.
No, Salakia. Drunk at the hand of the Lord, the cup of his fury, meaning he took a punishment.
Exactly, but who?
Jerusalem.
All of Israel.
Concert.
The Most High, he holds all of us accountable for the actions of very few, even very one. You know what I'm saying? If one person has sinned, it's been times in the past where he's taken it out on the whole nation. You know what I'm saying? There's been many times when he's actually done that. Or you just take out on the very person that caused the upheaval, right? So basically, right here, he's saying, Jerusalem, you need to wake up because you drunk from basically you've gotten you're feeling the punishment of what the Most High had in store for you because you went against them, right? Keep going.
Come. Verse 18. To finish, verse 17. Thou hast drunken the dregs of the cup of trembling.
All right, what's the dregs?
The only time I ever heard this word, sir, was like that underwater digging stuff, like at the Baltimore Harbor. Is that a drag? That's the only time I really heard that.
Something like that. Something like that. You want to take a shot?
I was gonna say pulp. Pulp. Like
Yeah. You know whenever like just some orange juice, you know what I'm saying, with the pulp in it, that stuff that's at the bottom, that's the dredges. And when you're talking about, they're taking the dredges out of the Baltimore or whatever, they're taking the sediment that's down there, the loose sediment. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you kick, like when you kick up dust and whatnot, they're taking that. So, and usually whenever there's wine or strong drink that has dredges, or when it comes from fruit or barley that has that, that holds the highest alcohol content. So that is the strongest part of the drink. You know what I'm saying? So it's a metaphor of what they're saying. You've not only drunk from the Most High's fury, but you've taken the full brunt of it. You drunk the dredges of it, and you're really intoxicated. That's why you're saying, wake up. So it's kind of like now, us in today's time, where we have drunk the full dredges of the Most High's fury because of the sins that we've committed in the past. You know what I'm saying? We turned our face against the Most High, and the Most High gave us, he gave us a strong drink to drink. Slavery in at the hands of this oppressor that has done us dirty for centuries. You know what I'm saying? They went above and beyond what they're supposed to be doing, right? So right now we're drunk. We're drunk from the drink that the Most High has given us. We don't know who the hell we are. We think we niggas. You know what I'm saying? We think we Spics. We think we African Americans. You know what I'm saying? We think we're Caribbeans. We think we're Afro Latinos and Latinas. You know what I'm saying? We think we think we're this dark and think we're Spaniards. You know what I'm saying? This is how, we think we're Africans. We think we're Hamites. These niggas stink. You know what I'm saying? We ain't nothing like any of these other heathens. But because we've been punished so much, we drink the dredges of the Most High's punishment. We don't know what the hell we are. And this is what the I.S.U.P.K is here for, is to wake our people up. Just like they're saying in verse 17, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem. It's telling us to stand up. We're telling out every time we go out in the corners and yell at the top of our lungs, we're telling our people to wake up who the hell we really are. Right? Because the time for being in captivity is soon coming to an end. Right? It is soon coming to an end. How do we know? Because when the disciples asked Christ, what are the signs of him returning? We're living these signs out right here, right now. Now in this time, we're living the signs that Christ said to his disciples back then. It is happening right here, right now. Continue on.
Come. Verse 19.
Verse 18.
Verse 18. There is none to guide her among all the sons whom she hath brought forth.
Right. All right. So all the sons whom she has brought forth. You know, we had Dr. King, we had Jesse Jackson, we have so-called Dr. Umar Johnson. You know what I'm saying? We had what's the brother from the Caribbean that came up here and then got deported back in the 30s. What's that brother's name?
Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey, right? We had Marcus Garvey. You know what I'm saying? We had we had a bunch of false leaders. Al Sharpton. You know what I'm saying? We Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan. All these so-called leaders ain't leading us to nothing. Ain't amounting up to a bunch of nothing. We got all these comedic, so-called scholars who says, we're the people from that land, when really the people from that land, have big plates in their lips. You know what I'm saying? They put their head in cows' behinds. You know what I'm saying? They drink cow piss and cow doo-doo. They rub dirt on themselves to cool down. They some funky bastards. You know what I'm saying? We ain't nothing like them. We ain't nothing like them. They make carvings in their flesh. I don't know why. For what? I don't care. Honestly, I really don't care. We ain't nothing like them. All these sons, brought forth. They're leading us into a bunch of nothing. Keep going.
Sir. The middle of verse 18. Neither is there that taketh her by the hand of all the sons that she hath brought up.
Right, keep going.
Verse 19. These two things are come unto thee. Who shall be sorry for thee?
Who's going to be sorry for us, right? Right now, just look at our conditions. You know what I'm saying? Who is actually sorry for us? Who actually gives a damn? We flood the streets after a tragedy and whatnot. When I say a tragedy, after a bunch of our people get slain in the streets by the people who were supposed to protect us, right? They're supposed to protect us, but we get slain by them. You know what I'm saying? The same people who are supposed to protect us keep us in. You know what I'm saying? Locked in. Flood day. The people who are supposed to govern us has our does not have our best interest at hand. They flood our streets with poison, and then make laws to keep us oppressed from the poison that they flood our streets with. You know what I'm saying? They put guns and drugs in our neighborhoods and then say there's a war on guns and there's a war on drugs. All the while upholding saying, there's the Second Amendment right to carry guns, but not us, not people that look like us. When I say people that look like us, I'm not talking about, because Hamites don't look like, Africans don't look like us. There is a difference. There is a difference between Ham and Shem. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Verse 19. These two things are come unto thee. Who shall be sorry for thee? Desolation and destruction and the famine and the sword.
We live in desolation. You know what I'm saying? The Commander Yahanna brought out a right at the beginning of the Russian-Ukrainian war, how the way the Ukraine looks like, and it was like, man, that looks like the Bronx in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? That looks like Philly in the 70s, 80s. Looks like Chicago now. You know what I'm saying? Our places are desolate. Where we live, where we call home, it's desolate. It's nothing but destruction, death and destruction. I saw a video where it was like, damn, we can't even play basketball anymore. It was these kids. I want to say it was out in Chicago. I want to say it was out there. But it was these kids that was on social media bragging like, yeah, I got all. He showed a bag full of guns on the court. He showed a bag full of guns. You seen that?
I seen.
And then every person that was coming up, you know, to give him dap and whatnot, they had guns on them. Like, yeah, look at this. Look, you know what I'm saying? Every person that came up there, you know, was packing. So only shooting they was doing in the basketball court wasn't the ball. Right. They want you. They looking for stuff. You know what I'm saying? Looking for a problem. Right. When if you on the court, and man, back in my day, when you on the court and you get crossed up, or they doing you dirty, you either take it. And I'm like, all right, well, damn, you got me. Or you go back in the gym and or you D up, you get better, you get focused, and you do it right back to them. You know what I'm saying? These young cats out here, there's no real leadership. And if they get done dirty, oh nah, I got something for you. Also, Nakamaya was just talking about this, how his brother had a friend whom they grew up with. They known each other for like 20-some years and whatnot. They was playing basketball, and his brother got the best of the dude, and now he's like, well, now I got to go to the trunk, and I gotta end this because he got crossed up or so he got done dirty on the court. In the field, it wasn't even a dirty play. It was just on the court. And let's just say, even if it was a dirty play, you're going to throw some away. Y'all was brothers for 20-something years, right. Close to 20 years, and you going to throw it away over a game? Seriously? That's why the I.S.U.P.K is the home of the truth. This is where you find true brotherhood. Right. There is no brotherhood anywhere else over a goddamn game. Come on. This is our life that we're reading about. Desolation, destruction, famine. How many? I know there's if anybody's seen commercials that's like this where they show kids coming in from school and they open up the fridge and there's nothing there. Oh, you know what I'm saying? How many of us grew up like that? Yeah. How many of us had the best meal or meals if you actually could get to school early? You know, you got the breakfast and you got the lunch. That was your best meal, was at school. Because you might not couldn't get anything if you got anything at all at home. Right. We grew up like that. That's famine. We had to depend on our oppressor to eat, to feed our kids. You know what I'm saying? And then the sword. Come on now. Come on. We were just talking about the kids in the basketball courts who were living and will probably, if they don't come out of that, that ideology, will die by the sword. We got enough factors that's against us that's going to kill us. Why should we engage in white supremacy and do their dirty work for them? Because that's all they want. They want to destroy us. They want to keep us down. Because the only way that they can be up is if we're down. And if we actually have true brotherhood, there is no way in the world that they will be up. Right? Keep reading.
Concert. And the sword. By whom shall I comfort thee? That's the end of verse 19, sir.
That's the end of verse. And that was your question from 19?
No,
it was 20?
All right. Verse 20.
Keep going.
Verse 20. Isaiah 51, verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets, as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy God.
The rebuke. What is? You want to take it after what we've just broken down? You want to take a stab at that last verse that you just read?
Yeah, Khan, if I may. I'm saying I'm not saying. What I get is that the young sons, they say have fainted, but not really fainted, but they're just in astonishment of what they're seeing. Like all of the things that's happened in their life, the desolation, the destruction, the famine, and the sword, that like a wild bull in a net, they have all of that. I just want to use that word zeal inside of them to come out into these streets and rebuke the world for the rebuke of thy God is them, the young men having that zeal that want to come out and correct the wicked things that's on the earth.
Somewhat. I see where you're going with it. So let's just take the imagery right there. You ever seen a large animal? Let's just take if you may not have even seen a bull, but have you ever seen a large animal who's bucking and wilding and trying to get loose, is caught in a snare or a net? Have you ever seen anything like that?
I've actually seen a deer, sir. Okay,
you've seen a deer. You know, they're quite a large animal. You've seen them caught in a net, right? They're bucking and whatnot. They're exerting their energy, and the net ain't going nowhere.
Right.
What happens after a while?
They get fatigued, and then they end up like either giving up or sitting down.
All right. Well, okay, let's take that. Let's say they physically cannot continue trying to get themselves out this trap. Do you think they just want to all right, well, screw this, I'm giving up? Even if there is a way out, I'm just gonna lay here.
Sir.
No, I'm saying that because right here is saying they're full of the fury of the Lord, right? They don't have they've exhausted all that they could, but they're caught in a net. You know what I'm saying? They're not cut loose to rebuke the world, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Up here, Commanding General Yahanna, under Christ and the Most High has cut that net. You know what I'm saying? So in times past, or in fake camps, they're just bucking in the wind. You know what I'm saying? They're caught in they may have that zeal. They may have that zeal. They may think that they're full of the Lord's, but there is nothing they can do. It's like spitting in the wind. You spit and stuff just comes right back in your face. They have no idea how to go out in the middle of the oppressors, world and society and community, and call them the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of. Right. And then pack up and go home. And nothing happens to them. Cops be all around videotaping us and seeing what we do, but then nothing happens to us. Right. Only thing that happens to us is we wake up more and more brothers and sisters, getting our brothers and sisters off of crack, getting our brothers and sisters off the stripper pole. You know what I'm saying? Taking the brothers off of child support. You know what I'm saying? And actually mending the home. Right. You know what I'm saying? There was Captain Yahanna just posted something, how he said he was with his rib for 17 years, and it wouldn't have been 17 years if it had not been for the men of the I.S.U.P.K. Right. You know what I'm saying? Actually mending and solidifying, households, mending and solidifying brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? This is how it's being done. You have some?
Talking about mending the family. The young brother in VA, he got his marriage back too.
That's right. Yeah. There was some stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? He got counsel from the men in I.S.U.P.K, and he just posted, a few days ago that his marriage has been mended because he followed the counsel of the men in I.S.U.P.K.
That's right.
Because of that, let's give the Most High a hand for that. People say we hate women. That's what people say we do. People say we hate women. We We beat them. We mind F them and whatnot. But in reality, what we're doing is mending our households. Commander General Yahanna said, we don't need a black man in the White House. We need a black man in every black house. When I say black, I'm talking black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian. That's the only way that we can ensure this brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way. There's a scripture that says you teach a child to give me that scripture. You know what I'm saying? You have it.
I got it, sir.
I don't want to mess it up. Read it. Yeah.
God. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go.
Train up a child in the way he should go. Now, how can we train up a child with only a mother? You know what I'm saying? It's emotional. How can we train up a child when there's only a father? It's still unbalanced. You know what I'm saying? You need a mother and a father. You know what I'm saying? Better yet, we need a priest and a mother. You know what I'm saying? And even if the brother's not a priest, if he understands that he needs counsel from the true priests of the Most High, the men in the I.S.U.P.K, that's just as good.
Right.
Why? Because he's going to follow instructions from the men in the I.S.U.P.K, and the men in the I.S.U.P.K are ordained by the Most High. Once you have that structure, and a child sees that structure on a daily basis. Continue reading.
Come.
No. That scripture.
Oh, the scripture. Come. And when he is old.
And when he is older, once he leaves his father's house and finds a rib for him to cleave to that woman and that man cleave together. Keep going.
He will not depart from it.
He will know how to continue on in that legacy. He will know how to be a righteous brother. He will know how to be a righteous head of household. He will know how to be a righteous father. And if he has any type of instance or problems, he knows where to go in order to get him back on track.
That's right.
It's all about correction. Anybody know how the way anybody? That's right, Matthias. Anybody know how missiles work? That's one way, but I'm talking about how the way missiles work when it goes from wherever it starts to wherever it ends. Now, when I say missile, I'm not talking about like I'm talking about like precision missiles. You know what I'm saying?
But they have a GPS system.
They have a GPS system, yes.
So the missile is programmed by the main computer from wherever it's being launched from. They program the coordinates. It goes to the satellite, and then the satellite guides the missile to its destination.
Guides it. So when it's launched, if anybody knows anything about anything, if you throw a football or a ball just from here to about 10 yards, it's not going to take much. It's going to go to where, you throw it, right? But if you throw it over a greater distance, say 40 yards, you throw it in this direction, but it may wind up in here, or may wind up down here, or it may wind up somewhere out there, right?
Right.
A missile corrects every so often, every millisecond. It's always getting corrected. So if it's too much wind, and it's going to be a lot of wind because where it goes and how fast it goes, it's going to get corrected. So if it going, there's a lot of wind coming over here and it's supposed to hit over here, it's going to correct. It's going to auto correct and hit its target. That's how the way we should be. We may go out and set our sights, our destination on one thing, but sometimes, things get thrown at us and we end up off course. We need counsel from the men of the Most High to set us back straight. You know what I'm saying? And that's what what that scripture is saying when he's saying, train up that child in the way he should go. And once he departs, he's going to, you know, he will never depart from it. Did that answer your question as far as Isaiah?
A lot. One thing, sir. When they say as a wild in verse 20, Isaiah 51, verse 20, and it says as a wild bull in a net. That is that a metaphor of the young man fighting to be free, fighting for the truth.
Oh, read it from the top of 20.
Verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of the streets. As a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy God.
So what did you ask again? As the nets, what is it?
When it says as a wild bull in a net, could that be used as a metaphor as a young man fighting for freedom, fighting for the truth? Like he knows it's inside of him, but he just got to get it out.
You know what? I'm not gonna give what I think. We're gonna ask that on Wednesday.
Come.
We're gonna ask. I have an idea, but we're gonna ask that on Wednesday. We're gonna ask that on Wednesday if that's too wild with you.
It's too wild.
Okay. Most High in Christ. Anybody else have any questions in the class or in the online? If you have any questions online, go ahead and type it in now. Salakia. Get me Jeremiah 32:39. If you could, Baba Shah. Jeremiah 32 and 39. The brother asks, could Jeremiah 32 and 39 be a good precept for train up your child? (32 and 39).
Okay. Say where you at.
Jeremiah 32 and 34.
Loudly.
Yeah. 32 and 39.
Jeremiah 32 and 39.
Yep.
And I will give them one heart and one way, that they may fear me forever, for the good of them and of their children after them.
He's asking, could this be a good precept for training up that child, your child? Yes, I would say yes. That will be a good precept. Yes. Hold on. Okay, so all right, so we're gonna if there's not any more questions, or if there is any more questions, just go ahead and type it in. We're gonna get into tonight's subject, which I'm talking about slavery in the United States of America. These here United States of America. In the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. It says that all men are created equal. You know what I'm saying? However, when they was talking about all men that was created equal, we weren't equal. We were slaves. You know what I'm saying? We were not human. We were chattel. We couldn't do for ourselves, right? Salakia. Forgot what. Come up here. Take over for a minute.
Concert. Shalom. So what we were talking about, let's go back to what was that scripture that you was talking about earlier, brother? The scripture that you read.
Isaiah 51 and 20. Was it 20? Yeah, I think it was 51 and 20.
No, we was at Salaki.
Oh,
Jeremiah 32 to 39.
Oh,
Jeremiah
okay.
32 20, 39. 32 and 29. All right.
32, 29 to 39.
I think 30.
39, Salaki, sir. All right, 39. And I will give them one heart and one way, that they may fear me forever, for the good of them and of their children after them. So yes, this is a great precept to go along with the precept that we had to train up the child, because I will give them one heart. The one heart, meaning, you have your heart is your mind, the way that you think, the way that you conduct yourself, and the one way, that is the narrow way, following the law, statutes, and commandments, that they may fear me forever. Because what is one of the what is the love of God?
To fear.
Say it again.
To fear.
To fear who?
To fear the Most High.
And
Christ. No.
you got it.
Fear him and Christ.
Fear the Most High with all
Your heart.
all that heart, mind, spirit, soul. Do what your father told you to do. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. For the good of them and of their children after them. So if you fear the Most High and you do what He says with all your heart, which is your mind, and follow that way, you and your children will be going in the right direction underneath the Most High. And I'm passing class back over to Officer Quashin. All right.
Let's get the 13th Amendment, if you could. And let's read exactly what in the world they're talking about. They said that we were equal, all men were created equal, but like I said, at the same time we were still chattel. You know what I'm saying? They made there was something called a 3/5 compromise, which they've never corrected, they've never changed, they never abridged. And the 3/5 compromise basically says that that 3/5 of a nigga will equal one man. You know what I'm saying? So it will take three out of 5 of us to equal one person. So they're saying it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't, and that was the great compromise that they had. So right there in the beginning, the infancy of this stinking nation, we were nothing. We were absolutely nothing, right? Fast forward to 1863. 1863. That was when the Civil War started. That's when they went to war to abolish slavery. When really it really wasn't to abolish slavery. It wasn't to free the slaves. What they wanted to do, and this was their plan. I don't know if anybody ever really knew about this. The plan was, all right, to get us out of slavery and send us back to Africa. That was the plan. Once Lincoln was killed, that plan was put on hold, and it never came about. The 13th Amendment, we're gonna read it. You got the 13th Amendment?
Come.
All right, read the. Hold on, because there's 2 sections in here.
Concert.
Let me get there with you. Hold on, Slovakia. If anybody doesn't know what the 13th Amendment is, the 13th Amendment is the amendment that abolishes slavery. So-called abolish slavery. Why? Because we're going to read exactly how it doesn't abolish it, but it ensures, guarantees slavery in the United States. Read what you got.
Come. Amendment 13, Section 1. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude.
All right, so slavery nor involuntary servitude. Basically, what is that? Some things that you must do. you ain't got no choice. You have to do this thing, right? You have to perform these acts, right? So that's what slavery, or involuntary servitude is.
It's like it's just forced work.
Forced work, exactly. Keep going.
Come. Except
What?
as a punishment.
Hold on, wait, what?
Except.
So, okay, hold on. Read it from the beginning.
Come. Section 1. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude.
So slavery or forced work.
Right. Except.
What in the world does accept mean? It means there's an exception to it. It means you cannot do this unless there's a loophole. There's a loophole for goddamn slavery. Not only in the United States of America. Anybody knows that laws in the U.S. and the United States can be repealed just by the stroke of a pen, or it can just run its course. It has an expiration date on it. I don't know if anybody knows that, but U.S. laws has expiration dates on it. Constitutional amendments does not have any expirational date. It's like the fabric of the nation. You know what I'm saying? Sort of like where's the beginning of you actually where the shirt has been spun? You can't really tell. You can tell where the sleeves come in. You know what I'm saying? You can tell where they put the collar in. You can tell that. But where in the world did they start the actual shirt? You know what I'm saying? Where is it? That's like the amendment. That's like the amendment. As far as the laws in the U.S., that's your sleeves. You know what I'm saying? That's the hem. That's the collar. You can see where it is, and you can take that off. You know what I'm saying? But the amendment, it's there. It's woven into the fabric of society. Men and women have fought and died for the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. There has been so much upheaval, not only here in the United States, but even across the world. There's been, many a talk about, the Second Amendment right. And that ain't going nowhere. As much as they talk about it, it ain't going nowhere. Does it say, I mean, you can look it up, but it does not say where it does not say where you cannot have it. You know what I'm saying? There's states that put extra laws on top of it. But those things can be taken away. But the fundamental right of owning a firearm is woven into American society, just like slavery. Read it from the top again. We're going to read what that exception is and how it pertains to Black America.
Right. Amendment 13, Section 1. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except
this is the exception where we can put you back into slavery. This is another compromise that would, if America wanted to do away with slavery altogether, just like I want to say, what was it, the 19th Amendment? I think it was the 19th Amendment, which was the prohibition. I want to say that was prohibition, where you could not drink alcohol. Alcohol was done away with. There was no exceptions in it. Then they may have to make another goddamn amendment, like, we were wrong. Let's bring back alcohol. That's what it was. There was no exception. There was no you cannot drink alcohol except on Tuesday at 3:57 p.m. to 10 p.m. There was no exception. It was just, you ain't drinking. That's it. It's a dry country. However, with slavery, it says there will be no slavery except keep going.
Except as a punishment for crime.
For what? A punishment for what?
For crime.
Whereof
the party shall have been duly convicted.
All right. So it says, unless you've been punished from a crime that you've been convicted. Now, there's people sitting in jail for years and years and years. They still fall under this exception. Right? Keep going.
Come. Shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction.
Any place subject to their jurisdiction. So there are places in the world that are subject to the jurisdiction. Does anybody know some of these places?
Like, sir, Alaska, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and every garrison that they have around the world.
Yes, I was more talking in terms with Alaska and Hawaii are states, so it's it is America. Puerto Rico is a territory. You know what I'm saying? U.S. Virgin Islands is a territory. I want to say Guam is a territory, but you're absolutely right as far. Well, the garrisons that's across the world, they are considered U.S. territory, U.S. sovereign U.S. land. So, for instance, an embassy in London, that the grounds is U.S. land. So, if you commit a crime that's on the property of U.S. property, you will be subject under the 13th Amendment and can be legally put into slavery. That's what this is. So they said slavery is done away with unless you're punished, unless it is punishment of a crime. Anybody knows the major crimes that so-called blacks had during the ending of the Civil War?
Actually, Slakia, brother. Yeah.
No, you had it. What was you had it?
Slakia, homelessness.
What do they call it? They didn't call it.
They call it vagrancy.
They call it vagrancy, yes, and loitering. That's what they call it. So, and man, what was it? What was the term? It was a term where you basically didn't have a job, but they criminalize what they did to us. So it's almost like you have it's almost like you have not almost. It is exactly like you have people in slavery. Now you can't have them in slavery, right? They're living on your property. Now they're free. They're not your property anymore. So you made laws. They don't have any place to go. They weren't given any reparations. They weren't given any lands or any titles or anything to help us provide for ourselves, right? So we had no place to go. We had no thing to do. So they made laws against people who had no places to go. They made laws against people who had no job, no thing to do. And if we were found guilty, which a lot of them was just trumped up charges. When I say trumped up charges, there was a time where in order for us to be off the plantation, we would have to have papers from the master to say, hey, we are authorized to be off property, right? We could be finished with the day's work going into town or doing something. And they say, well, prove that you're working with such and such. Prove that you live such and such. Oh, you can't go nowhere. It's not like we had cell phones. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we could Skype someone like, hey, real quick, bring Master Smith on the phone and tell him I work for his work for him. We couldn't do that. We couldn't do that. Hold on. It's not like we could do that. So when they said prove it, and we couldn't prove right there in that instance without that goddamn freedom papers, they locked us up. They threw us in jail. And then they said, in order to get out of jail, you owe us $100. $100, that sounds like nothing. But in those days, $100 is more like $100,000. How many of us has $100,000 just laying around? Then they say we in order for you to, now you have to work off that fine. Either you pay it or you can get someone else to pay it for you. And then the old slave masters would say, I'll pay that fine. Now you have to work for me at 20 cents a day to pay off this $100. You know what I'm saying? You can't go nowhere. If you leave, you're going back to jail and accruing another fine. In effect, we went right back into slavery. Fast forward today's time. They put, they filled our neighborhoods, our barrios, and our reservations with drugs and alcohol. And then they say it's illegal to have drugs and alcohol, but these bastards are the one that bring it in, right? Stop and frisk. You know what I'm saying? Giving you long prison sentences for small ounces of drugs. Giving you what I want to say is like 100 times the amount of time for crack than it was for cocaine that the oppressors had. You know what I'm saying? 100 times. 100 times. So if the sentence was a few days, a few weeks for cocaine, if you had that same amount in crack, times that few weeks by 100, and we're in slavery for that amount of time. Do you know how many Fortune 500 companies right now get their work, their products, their services from prisons? From prisons? You got something?
Yeah, Salami, sir. When you was talking about the so-called slave, I was just gonna say so-called slave back in that time, we didn't have time cards to prove when we left this place and that place. So
yeah,
that was a hindrance right there. So that I just want to bring that up because the story was going on.
Yeah. There was no way to prove right there in that instance. Hey, I belong to Master Johnson. I belong to Master Little, Master whoever, William. Why are you even calling him Master? Really because we were still put right back into slavery. The U.S. Constitution states that there will be no slavery unless you're convicted of a crime. They went and in turn turned our lifestyle into crimes. Vagrancy, loitering. We had no homes. We had no jobs. They would not hire us. Purposely. All they had to do, if someone was traveling, all right, well, they say, well, you gotta get the hell out of town. All right. I have no horse. You know what I'm saying? That was the mode of transportation. Trains were just being built up, but I couldn't afford here you are. I couldn't afford a train pass to get on a train. So what did I have to do? I had to walk. Anybody ever walk across town?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It takes a minute to walk across town. And they say if you don't get out of town by sundown, you going to jail. Well, goddamn, it's going to take me all day just to get there. You know what I'm saying? Or they say it'll take, if you get out to get out of the county. Come on, man. I can't do that. Might as well lock me up now. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm locked up and I'm put in these prison camps, working, slaving all over again. And if I wanted to get out, once they had these hearings, local, businessmen went to these hearings, just all over again. It's like a slave auction. All over again. This is documented. I'm not making this stuff up. This is documented. We don't speak in conjecture. We don't speak in I.S.U.P.K. doesn't speak in I think this is documented. We live right now, in times past, we had, the Dark Ages. We had the Renaissance, you know what I'm saying? We had the Iron Age. We had the Industrial Age. You know what age we're in right now?
So we're in an age of information.
We're in the information age. We have high-powered computers at the tip of our fingers. You don't believe me? You can look this stuff up right now. You can look it up right now. It's high power computers right here at our fingertips. We can look up, see if I'm telling the truth or not. Fast forward to today. Like I said, loitering. We just hanging out on our stoops. Hanging out on our stoops. Catch a charge for doing that. They say I want to in New York. In New York, they had a law. It's not like this anymore, where an officer can pull you over for whatever reason. I've heard many officers say this, throughout different counties, throughout different states. They say if you follow behind someone long enough, you can pick up on some sort of traffic violation to get them to pull over. I don't know if you've heard that before, but I've heard many different officers in many different jurisdictions say that. So if you follow behind someone long enough, the unsafe lane change, didn't use your blinker, speeding or going too slow or swerving, went in and out, whatever. They could find something. And once they actually find or get you to be pulled over, I smell some marijuana. Something's funny coming out that car, right? And what they do is they say they found some what they call scat, and it's like marijuana residue. They found some marijuana, and it's like negligible. It's like from 0 to like 0.01. Is what I'm saying? It's so minute. But that law was there just so they can get you in the system. Just so they can find something on you. And of course, you get pulled over X amount of times. It's like, yo, I'm tired of this. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of this. And when you get tired, oppression makes the wise man mad. You're going to make some mistakes. You're going to talk to him any old kind of way that you want to talk to him. And they doing this on purpose. Why? So they can get you in the system. So that they can. And then on top of that, our oppressors have quotas to meet. How many arrests are they supposed to have? Once you get arrested, you get put in the system. You know what I'm saying? 90% of arrests is pled out. You know what I'm saying? And what they do is I knew a guy who was in Esau's military, but his job was like legal, right? And he was like a paralegal type deal, right? And he was telling me that whatever charges someone was brought up on, they then look at every single thing that they did and try and fit other charges. Just throw it on there. So if this guy did one thing and it could have been a minor thing, they'll pack on 10, 15 different charges. You know what I'm saying? It's called throwing the book at them. And now because you got pulled over and it was some scat that was, in your car, now they got you for resisting arrest. Now they got you for assaulting a cop. Now they got you for drug possession. Now they got you for vehicular whatever or another. If you threw your keys at them, they got you for assault with a deadly weapon or some nonsense. Now they got all these different charges on you, right? You ain't do nothing. You really ain't do nothing. But now they got you arrested. They got all these damn charges on you. They say, all right, you can fight this. And if you lose, you're going to get 15 to 20 years because of all these goddamn charges. Or you can plead guilty and you can be out in 2. You can take your chances and walk out, spend tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to prove your innocence. Or you can take this plea deal and you spend all that money and there's still a chance for you to get 15 to 20 years. Or you can take this plea deal and just be out in 2. 2 years of free labor. And they do this over and over and over again. And who they do it to? People who really cannot defend themselves. People who don't really know no better. Like, yo, I didn't do any of this. And they don't know how they can protect themselves. They do it to and honestly, It's not even just people who can't protect themselves, because I've seen it happen to Wyclef Jean. You know what I'm saying? He had fame, he had notoriety, he had money, but yet he was still in that same situation as well. You got some?
Sloppy, sir. Hey, powerful, beautiful. I just want to bring out a precept.
Yeah, what's up?
Psalm chapter 83, verse 3.
Hold on, let me get there with you. Sloppy, let me get there. Psalms 83 and 3.
Everything you said is with this one right here.
Hold on, that sounds familiar. Okay, let's go.
Psalm chapter 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against our people.
Goddamn right. Yeah, they've taken crafty counsel. In order to make these laws, there's a group of people that come together and say, is this going to be good? Is this going to be not good? Or how can we make this more effective? Should we make this a law or not? They're taking counsel amongst themselves against us. Now, there's studies before, what's the name? Weed became legal, that stated that the oppressors and the heathens use, at least this drug more than we did. But we were in the prison systems, in the court systems, at a rate like 5 or 6 times more than the heathens. So if this law was right across the board, everybody, if we represent 13% of this nation, we should represent 13% in the prisons. We should represent 13% in the courts, right? We should, right? But why are we 60, 70, 80, 90% of the prison population? Why is that? If we only represent, if these laws are supposed to be across the board, and it's studies shown that they use it more than we do, how in the hell are we overrepresented in these in prison, in jails?
So, sir, it's because this system works perfectly. This system is bleach. It destroys colors.
It destroys us. It destroys us. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. It totally outright destroys us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just like you said, taking crafty counsel against us. If you could, brother, get me Psalms 10 and 8. Let's see what the brother has to say about that. It's coming from the chat. It's a precept. Salakio, 1 second. Let me get there with you. Psalms chapter 10. Psalms chapter 10, verse 8. You have it, brother?
Come.
All right. Okay, go ahead.
Slack, so you said 8?
Yeah. Call out the book, the chapter, and then the verse, and then go ahead and read.
Psalms chapter 10, verse 8. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages.
Right.
In the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. Right. His eyes are privily set against the poor.
Exactly. So this what this brother is saying is that and that's exactly how the way they do. You see the police say that they're here to protect and serve, and their presence are there as a deterrent, right? You ever heard police, their presence is a deterrent? But you see some of their cop cars, the cop vehicles, is like hidden. You know what I'm saying? It's dark colored. It's not bright. You know what I'm saying? It's not like if you see where I come from, they have big fences and whatnot, and then there's a big ass sign that says beware of dog. They don't put that junk like in the back and have it camouflage, have it to blend in the background. They want you to see it. You know what I'm saying? They want you to see it so that hey, there's a possibility that my dog can take a nice chunk out of you if you cross this fence, right? Well, why are they camouflaged? Why are they hiding? You know what I'm saying? That's what this scripture is saying. You got something?
Slocky, sir. What was the scripture that you read?
It's Psalms 10 and 8.
Slocky, sir. I think the answer to that question, why they are camouflaged, is Lamentations chapter 4, verse 18.
Hold that. We're gonna continue on reading. If you could, brother, you got some?
I thought I heard my car run.
If you could, brother, can continue on reading verse 9, if you could.
Psalms 10, chapter 9. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den.
A lion secretly in his den. So he just lying in wait. You ever see these cops like especially like during like on the highway, you know what I'm saying? Or even in certain neighborhoods. It's not only their marked cars, because they have marked cars and they have unmarked cars. Their marked cars don't even look like police cars. You know what I'm saying? It's camouflage. It's blended in. It's not meant to stand out unless they want you to know that it's them, and then they'll hit the lights and it's flashing like a goddamn spaceship. Now your heart is beating out your chest like these mother, you know what I'm saying? But they even have unmarked cars just lying in wait, waiting for you to do something. Like I said before, all these cops know if you follow someone long enough, you're gonna do something to violate, some traffic violation, right? And then they got you. Then they can do whatever in the world they want to do with you, right? Keep going.
He lieth in want to catch the poor.
He lieth in wait.
Oh, I'm sorry. Salaki.
No sweat.
He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him unto his net.
What do you think that means?
Can I read it again, sir?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It was Salaki. It was Psalms 10 and
9. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he like you say, he's camouflage, waiting for you. You won't see him until it's too late.
Until it's too late. Basically, he's purposely setting you up. You know what I'm saying? He's setting you up to do something to so that he can put you back into slavery purposefully. You know what I'm saying? I've seen documentaries where police officers will actually say stuff to incite you purposefully to get a rise out of you. You know what I'm saying? And all they want you to do is just cross that path just a little bit, and they got you. Right? They setting a trap. They setting a trap for you. They setting a trap for all of it. And who they do it to? They do it to the poor. Why? Because we either do not know how to defend ourselves or we can't afford to defend ourselves. They don't do this crap on the other side of town, on the other side of the train tracks. They don't do this in with places where it's affluent. And if they do it in those places, it's because they think we do not belong there. You know what I'm saying? What you doing in this part of town, boy? What you doing over here? Do you know that there are still towns in the U.S. right now that has what is called daylight curfew, where where if you are black specifically, and you are in certain parts in the U.S., like certain towns, if you don't get the hell out of town by sundown, you are subject to arrest and detention. Right now.
Salaka, so those are called the sundown states?
Well, not states, but sundown, towns. Yeah. Places like that right now. Right now. So when Trump says, he wants to make America great again, when was it great for you? When was it great for you? When was it great for me? When was it great for the Native Americans? When was it great for the Cherokees? It was great prior to Cristobal Columbus. Mm-hmm. It was a great time when the oppressor wasn't here. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't America. Right. At the same time. It wasn't America. Man, just imagine being in a place where the oppressor's reach isn't. There is no place on earth where the oppressor's reach isn't. It could be places where the oppressor is not physically there, but their reach is there. Their ideology is there. Their direction is there. And if you do not follow their direction, they're going to take you out and get someone in there to follow their direction. You got something?
Slug, sir. They're just saying before these pilgrims or whatever you want to call them came through, what this land, I don't think it actually had a name, but it was called the land where no man dwelt. I think
you're talking
heard
about
that once before in the scripture.
No, it's called something. It's called something. Man, well, I can get it for you. But that's what they call where no man ever dwelt before. But they called it something. I'm gonna have to get it. It's in the Apocrypha. So like, hold on. See now, man. We ain't gonna go there. I'm gonna get there. As far as give me here, it's my man right there. Let me check that out. Let me check that out before I actually say it. Hold on. Let me check that out. Okay, though. Salakia. That's it. I knew it. Give me second Ezra 13. Thawada. Mataya.
That's right. That's right.
If you know, you know. Second Ezra 13 and 40.
Come.
And this is for all the fake Israelites who disavow their own people and say the Native Americans and the so-called Hispanic brothers and sisters are not Israel. It says it right here, right? All right, read it.
Come. Second Ezra, chapter 13, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osea, the king.
Right? Hosea, the king. All right. Keep going.
Come. Whom Salmanasar, the king of Assyria, led away captive.
Right. All right. This was the northern. The 10 tribes who they're talking about. It's a northern tribe. Right. Keep going.
Come. And he carried them over the waters, and so they came unto another land.
Right. They came into another land. Keep going.
Come. Verse 41. But they took the counsel among themselves.
Read that part one more time.
Come. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
Right. They want to get the hell up out of Dodge. I don't want to mess with these heathens no more. Right. Keep going.
Come. And go forth unto further country. And go forth into a further country, where never mankind dwelt.
Exactly what you're talking about. Where never mankind dwelt. No one was here before the 10 tribes got here. Keep going.
Verse 42. That they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
And so they want to get away from the heathens so that they can keep the the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. Why? Because if they was around, they figured if they was around heathens, they might get tempted by other gods and whatnot. And when they came over here for a time, they were doing exactly that. That's why you have the archaeology that we're finding every single day of the proof that the Northern Kingdom here is part of the 12 tribes, because they have kept for a time they have kept the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. So that's why we're finding a bunch of archaeology that leads back to Israel here in the Western Hemisphere. Right? Keep going.
Come.
And this is how they got there.
Come. Verse 43. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river.
Right? Okay, so they went through the Euphrates.
Verse 44. For the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. Okay,
so they built ships, and they use astrology to guide them to where they needed to be. If you know anything, so the Most High stayed the flood, because during that time, every year there's something called the monsoon season, right? Flood waters rise, allowing these ships to pass through much easily, right? So the Most High stayed those floods. These ships came through, right? Keep going through these river, the Euphrates River.
Come. Verse 43. You go back?
Nah, we'll keep going forward.
Come. Verse 45. For through that country there was a great way to go.
Right? It was a long journey. Keep going.
Come. Namely, of a year and a half. And the same region is called Arsareth.
That's the name of this landmass, the Western Hemisphere, where the 10 tribes went to. This is the name, and it took them a year and a half to get there.
And you said this is the northern.
This is the northern tribe, yes,
okay.
The northern tribe, which included part of Levi. Do you understand why part of Levi went with him? If you don't know, no problem. They're the priests. In order for them to practice, obey the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, you need the priesthood. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So part of the priests, part of the tribe of Levi went with them. The name of this landmass was called Asareth. Anybody have any questions? Thawada Samathaya. Yeah, for getting me that. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns? You have some?
Yeah, Slocky, sir. When you was breaking down Psalms 10 and 9, wanted to bring up the precept Lamentations 4 and 18.
Oh, right, yeah. Let's get that real quick, Baba Kashaw.
All right.
Lamentations 4 and 19.
brother.
Whoever got it first, go ahead and read it.
Yeah, I got it. Sorry. No sweat.
Sloppy. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 18. They hunt our steps.
Yeah, that's exactly what they do. They lie in wait. Keep going.
Come. That we cannot go in our streets.
We can't even go in our own neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? We can't go where it is our supposed, American right to go. Public streets. Why? Because they hunt us. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, sir. What you was talking about, the police being, camouflage.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, they used to have the light blue, but now they're wearing like navy, dark blue, and black, so they could hide in the dark places. Their cars are dark. They hide underneath the overpass on a highway. You can't see them when you're driving past, but they can see you when you go by. Plain clothes officers.
Yeah.
Like they do everything in their power to not be seen.
Yeah.
Just so they can't. They are the perfect hunter, the absolute camouflage, and that sometimes we just can't see.
Yeah. And they do this. This is purpose. They do this on purpose. You know what I'm saying? They want to try and put something on us. All the reason is to put us back into slavery. They want to put charges on us so that we are locked up and running putting all these companies in the black. You know what I'm saying? If you do not believe me, look up the amounts of companies that they get prison labor from. Not only that, prisons are now privatized. What does that mean? It means private-owned companies run prisons, and you know what? They get incentives to house prisoners. What does that mean? Let's break that down a little bit more. You're in jail once upon a time when it was run by the state or the federal government. You committed an infraction or you do something that's against the rules and regulations. They may put you in a hole for a month, a week, a period of time. Now that it's privatized, what they do is charge you and add more time on. You know what I'm saying? So you could be in there for the scat business, do your 6 months, and if you commit an infraction, they're adding more time onto that. And then on top of that, they're creating an atmosphere where, how many times are you just aggravated when it's hot? You know what I'm saying? Or where you ain't eat. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you didn't eat enough. They give you some moldy sandwich. Wake you up at the butt crack of dawn to give you this moldy sandwich, and they treat you like all sorts of crap. The prison guards, the prisons are in a small town where the whole town is basically run by the guards in that town, the people in that town. If someone's having a bad day at home, they come in and take it out on you, and you trying to defend yourself, or you just ain't taking that crap. You try and fight back. They're putting charges on you, and the person who beat you up, you go and tell the warden that's their uncle. You think they're going to persecute their nephew? You think they're going to persecute their neighbor, their daughter who's married to this dude or who's dating this dude? You really think that they're going to go against their neighbors, their family, their friends, their neighbors, going against you? So they're putting more charges on you. Now that 6 months is up to 10 years from different sets of charges. And those companies that run the prison systems are public companies. When I say public, there's on the stock market. If you own some of these stocks, and guess what? You are a slave master. You are a slave owner. You ain't think about that. How about that? these companies are actually contracted out to some of these other Fortune 500 companies to do this work for them. So you got a lot of companies that are actually making money off of us, slave labor, and we have no one to thank but the 13th Amendment, who made it legal, woven into society, into American society, to do this. We have the number one prison population. We don't have the number one people population. Number one and number two is China and India with like 1.4 billion and like 1.2 billion. We're like the point in those billions. And yet we have more prisoners than both of them combined. How, Sway? Not only the people who are actually in prison, but then we have people who were in prison and have a record or on probation. That number doubles and triples. If they get caught doing anything that's against their rules, they're going right back. Now you have a record, you're trying to get a job, they won't allow you to get a job because of that record. You can't make a livable wage. That's what I'm talking about. You can't make a livable wage. And now you're stuck in poverty around the same traps and vices that put you in there. You're trying to go straight, but they won't allow you to go straight. Now you're back in the same situation that you were in, just a little bit older. What you gonna do? Most people who get out of prison are right back in prison within a certain amount of time. Slocky, if I could, with that, I'm gonna have to close out this class. You got something?
One thing for anybody that's watching, we talked about the crafty counsel, how they think of the worst things for us, but this is why. Is one last precept?
Nah, unfortunately, what's the precept? Anybody can get the precept on their own. What's the precept?
Ezekiel 35:5, because they had.
All right, Ezekiel 35:5. All right. With that, I pass the class on to priest and officer Pagabor. Thanks, Sam.
Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shut themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means 10th in Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation
is I'm gonna get it for you. It's a feast of first fruits. It starts after the Sabbath, the unleavened bread, sundown, Saturday, April 23rd, 2022. You can count 50 days. Celebrate on the 50th day, which is sundown, June 12th, 2022. Start before sundown. You can find this in Leviticus 23 and 10 through 22.
Come. Remind Akim and Akwathian to check on social media, such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headband, or scarf. And with that,
one second. I would like to remind all the Akimah Wathim to tune into Black Commander General Yahanna's Black Watch at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can check him out on Commander General Yahanna's Facebook page and YouTube page. His Commander General Yahanna's YouTube page. Also, Black Watch YouTube page. Like, subscribe, and share his stream. He's bringing Black news to Black people.
come. And with that, I say Imadium, which means to stand. We'll give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel. Imadium Shabbat, Imadium Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah,
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yadim Matah, class dismissed.